So you and somebody in your energy have consciously, taken action. It's not just something that you decided. It's like, you decided this and you also took supporting action upon, you know, like to support the fact that you were done with an old cycle of your life, okay? And this is looking like, so this could be some, I don't know, it's just somebody was in a situation where they've been in that situation in the past, okay? And an old version of them would have handled it differently, okay? But they chose to embody the higher or like the new essence that they desire to embody, okay? So this could even be like, I don't know, just to like put it in, as an example, say somebody has been like really consistent about their eating habits and their fitness and stuff like that, and then but maybe they've gotten serious about that in the past, but there was always a moment where it would break, and then they would always like fall back into old habits, okay? And there's something about the same situation, the same scenario arising that would have made them break in the past, that and then this person made a different choice and it like ended that old cycle somehow. Say, I don't know, there's like a specific food that you would always binge on or something. If it was presented to you, like you would always break, and then you would like, lose all your progress because you would start spiraling after that. So it's just like some sort of cycle that was repeating multiple times in the past had ended, okay? This could even look like, and like, no judgment or whatever, but if somebody in past relationships always had a moment where they would self-sabotage, or, if they like would always, you know what I mean? Always like flirt and have it go too far outside of the relationship or something like that. And then they made a conscious choice that they're done with that, and like they're, even if the opportunity arose, they would, you know what I mean? And I'm not getting this is a past person. This would be somebody who is like trying to prepare themselves for a serious relationship that they actually want to do right by this time. And it's sort of like the universe saying, okay, you claim that you want to do better. You claim that you want to be better. So here's the exact scenario. Here's your temptation. Are you going to fall for it? So that's kind of what the energy is like, um, something that would have tempted you to fall back into old habits or like patterns that were unhelpful for you has arisen. This is already past, or I guess, it could just be about to happen or whatever. But like a situation that would have made you fall back into old patterns arose, and either you will or you have successfully kind of uh, ignored, or you handled it as your new self would. Basically, you broke the cycle, okay? And again, this doesn't have to be you. This could be somebody in your energy, and it doesn't have to just be someone breaking a cycle of infidelity that they may have struggled with in past relationships. It could be anything, like you know I don't know, like somebody who always would relapse at a certain time, like, they would like, and they would use it as an excuse, as, oh, it's okay because it's a birthday or it's a holiday, or I had a bad week, you know what I mean? And someone like breaks a habit and then they just don't do it, and then it becomes, and then they stop being presented with temptations, because it's sort of confirming to the universe, like, yes, this is who I am now, this is who I choose to be. Because, it's like, I was getting something about like, we're fully, like, our mentalities are fully aligned, okay? And the circumstances are, it's something about like, I don't know, how like you will change all the settings on your computer for certain things, and sometimes it'll be like, are you sure? That was kind of like the are you sure moment. But I'm getting that like for this collective, and anyone that, and whoever, if it's somebody that's attached to you in some way, um I don't know, they've just confirmed that yes, they're sure and they do want to change and they are committed to this change, and it's sort of been solidified, right? So you did not fall for temptation. So you should be really proud of yourself. That's actually a really big deal. Some people never. And it could honestly be that you have been recently tested in regards to multiple temptations. And we think of it as testing, but the universe is kind of like, I don't want to say ambivalent, but the concept of like good and bad doesn't really exist. It's kind of just like, well, who do you want to be, and you have to confirm that based on your actions, right? And it will like present you with more opportunities and situations that like support the version of you that you align with, but it's not meant to be like evil. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the temptation isn't there to be evil or anything. It's just kind of there to confirm an identity shift, or like confirm who you actually are in some way. um we obviously judge ourselves, but the universe isn't like judging us in that way. I'm not really gonna get into that, but you know what I mean. So it's not that like, oh, the devil's like tempting me. Like, no, it's just, it was just giving you an opportunity to confirm the fact that you are fully in alignment, not just like like, you know what I mean. You're not just like talking to talk to yourself. You're actually following up with your intentions, okay? And then that helps to, it's like an opportunity to ground that new energy into your reality, if you want to think of it that way, okay? um if you, like, it's sort of like a butterfly effect thing, right? It just gives you an opportunity to timeline shift, because when you know what I mean. That's why I sort of think of it as, when you are approached with a significant choice, right? It's not meant to be evil or deceptive. It just gives you an opportunity to align with different timelines, right? So it kind of, I'm getting like the reality split, and you chose the right path because you continued to, like, stick to what you told yourself you're going to do, if that makes sense. And I don't know, like, I mentioned that, somebody chose not to flirt when they had the opportunity to, or whatever, or when they may have in the past, or something like that. And I'm not trying to trigger anybody. I don't think that has to do with anybody that you're in a relationship with. Um, it could be, but I know a lot of people be like, oh, well, I don't want to be with somebody who used to do that in their past relationships. But you know what I mean? If that person is literally the love of your life, and they've genuinely healed, because a lot of people do that because they had terrible role models, or they had like, they don't trust anybody, so they didn't, like, you know, it's like a negative pattern of always settling. Or if, they had a bad experience where their self-esteem was ruined, you know what I mean? So obviously, if that triggers you so much, then that part isn't for you. It's just an example, right, of somebody breaking out of a bad pattern, and aligning with a better one, so that they can actually attract what they truly desire in their life, okay? And also, this could be somebody who's not even in a relationship yet, who just is like, yeah, I'm not hooking up with somebody that I'm not actually dating, so it could be something like that. Because I am getting the sense of, in regards to sort of high vibrational matches, and if that's what you genuinely want, there's something about, like, you know if you are, like, the universe isn't going to bring you your, like, sweetie pie person into your life if there's any risk of you potentially, like, hurting them, okay? So it's almost like you have to become the person that would make them proud, even when they're not around, before they're even brought into your life. Like, your end game person, like, it's like this sense of, they won't even be brought into your life until you show that you are almost like energetically committed to the one, before they actually materialize in your life in some way, okay? But this doesn't just have to apply to relationships. This could be, you going to the gym and working out even when you don't feel like it, okay? And you actually embodying like genuinely healthy eating habits, instead of going through this, like, oh, I need to overcompensate by not eating a lot, and then it, like, rebounds, then I eat too much. I'm getting that there's just like this heavy sense of harmony and balance in regards to your mindset being in alignment with your intentions and your desires and your goals, okay? And then whenever something outside of you presents itself, and you are given the opportunity to show up as, like, your new aligned self, you keep showing up as your new aligned self, and it's like solidifying that desired reality in more and more, to where you may start to notice the progress taking place, okay? So that could look like, again, like, actually meeting someone that you click with, or relationships hitting a new phase of, like, intensity, but in a good way. Or, you finally breaking out of a plateau if, in regards to, like, your physical health or something like that, or your appearance upgrading, especially after a time of resistance or, like, frustration. All that frustration is gone, okay?